Throughout the 2010s, it was very common to hear Sia on the radio wherever you were in the world. Despite hitting mainstream success fairly later in life, unlike other pop stars, songs like Chandelier and Cheap Thrills were pretty much unavoidable bangers that would be on constant repeat. But even though everyone could hear Sia on a day-to-day basis while shopping in Walmart or driving in the car, during this time, actually seeing the face behind the songs was extremely difficult. Due to the singer's views around personal privacy, she hid her face with a blunt blonde wig. And when she had to take on the live aspect of being a singer, she would remain with her face hidden. But Sia had what seemed like a perfect way of putting an image to her sound without having to use her own face. And that image was of the child star and dancer, Maddie Ziegler. Maddie and Sia became somewhat of a double act while Sia was climbing up the charts. However, even though most people looked at their relationship and were happy that Maddie was able to achieve her goals of being a famous dancer, more recently the Australian singer that acted like her second mother has been hit with a lot of criticism. From allegations that Sia was not mentally okay enough to work with children, to even speculations that the relationship she had with Maddie has been extremely creepy and problematic. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the relationship between Sia and Maddie Ziegler. Sia Kate Isabel Furler was born on the 18th of December 1975, which means that she currently is 46 years old. Although Sia didn't become recognized worldwide until her late 30s, she had actually had a moderate level of fame before this in her home country of Australia, and she had already been working within the music industry since the late 90s. She started off singing in several different bands before signing a record deal, and then her debut album was released in 2001. Sia reached a moderate amount of success throughout the start of her career. In fact, her single Taken for Granted made it to the number 10 spot on the official UK music charts. But as she got more famous, she became uncomfortable with being recognized in public. She told the New York Times that the moment that made her reach her boiling point was when she was having a very emotional conversation with one of her friends, who was telling her that she had been diagnosed with cancer. And while her friend poured out her emotions, a fan came up to Sia asking her for her picture. This dramatically changed the way that Sia wanted to operate in the music industry. And as the new decade began, Sia moved away from the spotlight and instead acted as a songwriter, selling her songs to huge artists like Rihanna and Beyonce. She would still lend vocals to producers like David Guetta for huge smash hits like Titanium. But when searching for a recent picture of the singer online, Google wouldn't be able to return with anything that was less than 5 years old. Sia has stated before in interviews that she is heavily inspired by reality TV, and she watches a lot of different shows to get catchy names and hooks for her songs. Sia's love for reality TV not only ended up being one of the instruments in her songwriting toolbox, but also the thing that inspired her to work with Maddie Ziegler. In 2013, Sia reached out to the producers of the popular dance competition show, Dance Moms, explaining that she wanted one of the girls from the show to star as the lead role in an upcoming music video. When the news broke out to the cast, everyone was completely shocked, and all of the young, talented girls prepared to audition, even though it was pretty clear that through the host, Abby Lee Miller's favoritism, that Maddie Ziegler was going to be the star of the show. And sure enough, Maddie got the job, much to the delight of her mother Melissa, Abby, and the rest of the cast. Maddie flew off to LA to meet and work with Sia, and on the 6th of May 2014, the music video to Chandelier was released. The song was Sia's biggest hit yet, and currently the video itself has over 2.5 billion views on YouTube. The video features Maddie alone in a dark and depressing house, manically dancing through each room while wearing the trademark blonde bob that Sia was seen in interviews with. Maddie became a superstar overnight, and this would establish her as one of the most famous dancers, even though she was only 11 years old at the time. Maddie was then featured in the video for Sia's song Elastic Heart, but this time she was not alone, as the video focused around both Maddie and the actor Shia LaBeouf. This video also went viral everywhere, but this time Sia faced her first dose of controversy, as the video was met with a lot of criticism, as viewers believed that with a 12-year-old girl wearing only a nude leotard dancing with a nearly nearly naked man who was nearly in his 30s was inappropriate and could be taken the wrong way by lots of people watching. Sia issued an apology where she said, "I apologize to those who feel triggered by Elastic Heart. My intention was to create some emotional content, not to upset anybody." The drama blew over after a couple of weeks of debating on social media, and Maddie stayed by Sia's side. But since this point, there have been a lot of evidence presented to suggest that the relationship between the singer and dancer may have actually become extremely inappropriate. But what could lead people to believe this? As the months went by, Maddie and Sia became more and more famous. But after the release of the Elastic Heart video, Maddie was no longer just on music video sets. She became Sia's right-hand girl, despite her not even being a teenager yet. Maddie and Sia appeared together at several live performances and on multiple red carpets for huge events like the Grammys. The connection between Maddie and Sia then crossed over the border of being just professional, as Maddie revealed that she actually views Sia like a family member. Sia showed her appreciation for Maddie in lots of different ways. She bought Maddie her first car, and when the world was struck down by coronavirus, Maddie actually split her time living with her own parents in half to spend the other portion of her time living with her new second mother. By the year of the pandemic, though, this was not something that was new to Ziegler, as her mother gave more details into Maddie and Sia's relationship that raised a ton of concerns. Melissa explained that following the release of the Chandelier music video, Maddie would have weekly sleepovers at Sia's house, and on more than one occasion, slept in the same bed as the singer, who was nearly 30 years her senior. In an interview with Stuff, Melissa confirmed the rumors, saying, "They're like sisters. I love how they snuggle together." There have been other accusations of Sia taking control over Maddie's career, which have been back since Sia herself has stated that she cannot make any sort of project without Maddie.
I guess as well, but it's actually nepotism because I can't do a project without her. I don't want to. I wouldn't make art if it didn't include her.
So as you can see, Sia has gone from being a young girl who got her big break given to her by a popular singer that needed a dancer to Maddie's second mother, and there is no denying that Sia's attachment to a child that she at one point was only a professional connection is a little bit creepy, as many have pointed out that if this were the same case but with a grown man and a young girl or boy, then alarm bells would be ringing a lot louder in people's heads. For as long as we have known Maddie Ziegler, we have also been aware of her mother, Melissa Gisoni, since they appeared on Dance Moms together along with Maddie's younger sister, Mackenzie. And on the show, it was clear from day one that Melissa would do anything to get her daughter ahead in life and make her famous. When the original cast of Dance Moms left, a lot of people looked back and started to question Melissa's parenting, as tons of people noticed that not only did she massively favor one of her daughters over the other, but she also forbid Maddie from actually having a normal childhood. For starters, we can see in this clip Mackenzie beat Maddie in a dance competition, which was a huge shock, as no one ever thought there would be a day where Maddie was beat at dancing by her younger sister. When Maddie was announced as runner-up, Melissa's first thought was that Mackenzie didn't even place, showing that she didn't really have any hope for her youngest daughter.
Maddie!
It gets even worse later on in the episode when Melissa admits that she didn't think that Mackenzie deserved to beat her sister and spoke so highly of Maddie while in the same breath putting Mackenzie down.
Can't say. I'm not a judge. Do you honestly think that Kenzie should have beat Maddie today? No.
Why would you say that?
Because Mackenzie looked like a 7-year-old on the stage, and she looked adorable and sweet. Maddie was fabulous.
What was even more shocking, however, was when Abby Lee Miller admitted that Melissa would sneak Maddie out of school at lunch and recess so that she could go to the studio to get extra rehearsal time.
You know, a mother was willing to go get their kid out of school at lunch and gym and recess and bring them to the studio, learn half the solos, sneak them back without anybody on the TV show knowing. they learned half their solo. Well, no wonder they won.
The fact that Melissa was robbing her own daughter of social activities like being able to hang out with friends at school is so crazy and shows that she was willing to take the chance of an actual childhood away from Maddie so that she could get a head start over her castmates. This doesn't tie in well with the fact that she so easily let Sia unofficially share responsibilities over Maddie without even knowing much about who this woman was outside of the spotlight. Sia has always been very upfront and open with her struggles in life. She has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which can cause extreme changes in mood and behavior, as well as battling with alcohol and various other substances that weren't legal. This isn't to say that Sia shouldn't be around children, since having mental health issues doesn't instantly make someone a danger towards children. However, it begs the question that if Sia wasn't famous and wasn't advancing Maddie's career, would Melissa be comfortable letting her daughter basically live with a woman that she hardly knows, who is also known to have suffered with substance issues and mental health problems that can change someone's behavior? It seems that Melissa saw her daughter getting famous and the life that she had always wanted for her child, that she had treated as her obvious favorite since day one, and went completely blind to the risk factors that go into being a child in Hollywood's entertainment industry. Maddie is currently 19 years old, which means that she's a legal adult and able to make her own decisions. If she wanted to, Maddie would be able to cut all ties with Sia in the same way that she has done with her ex-dance teacher. However, Maddie established her connection with Sia when she was at a super impressionable age. And as we can see, unlike the connection that she had with Abby, Maddie does not have her mother to protect her from the potentially harmful, powerful dynamics between a child and a much older, famous singer, since Melissa was ignorant to the dangers because of her desire to get her daughter ahead in life. But Maddie has now been working with Sia for over half her life, and through the years of sleepovers and bonding and gifts, if Sia were to be taking advantage of the situation that she has with Maddie, even though she's no longer the little girl that Sia first saw, she might not find it as easy to set herself free. Thanks for watching, you guys. See you in the next video.